So this is my first 200 in the home gym for about 6 months or something. I've been hook gripping. I've been hook gripping on a regular bar without sharp teeth. You don't realise how much bite these teeth have in the, like if it's a newer power bar. If you use one at the gym, you might think I'm a bit of a wuss, but buy a new one. Those volcanoes, they get you. Just doing like intuition training. I don't know, I'll just do 2 reps. If I feel really good, I'll do 3. And yeah, I'll just go from there and see how I feel. I had no breakfast and KFC for lunch. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to line up my grip. It's about shoulder width apart. It's not excessively wide like conventional. I put one hand inside the nail, the road power bar. Hook the thumb under. Really my foot position, I'm not super wide. And I'm just inside the ring. Like so. I was watching a Jamal Browner video and he was telling me instead of vertical shin, a little bit up, and it helps you lock your hips out at the end, and I've found it's been working. I probably should have jigged myself up a little bit more before this set, but anyway, I'll pop 2 and see how I go. Bit sore. Felt alright. I could have done 3 if I jigged myself up, but it was just, would have been a grindy 3, and my next set would have suffered. So I haven't really been doing my activations recently. That's definitely evident. My glutes don't feel like they're activating that well. Lucky I've got big quads to power me through the movement. But also my abs almost start shaking. And the lockout at the top is very tough with this hook grip. It's very hard to sort of separate the bar, especially at the top. So it's not a strong lockout, but I still get through the movement pretty well. Trying to keep my back as sort of vertical as possible when I'm picking the bar up off the floor. And up, and yeah, that lockout wasn't that great. Oh, the thumbs, like this bar. You can see the volcanoes forming. And I won't be able to use Apple Pay. My thumbprint won't work on my phone for the next week now. Like dead set, I got stuck at the petrol station the next day and I was trying to pay for petrol, and man, it took me like 3 or 4 minutes before this Apple Pay would work. And the guy behind me in line, he goes, "Oh, it's a pain, isn't it, mate? That happened to me the other day." And I'm like, "Oh, do you hook grip deadlift or something, bro?" And he just looked at me like, he's like, "What?" And he looked at me like a weirdo, and I was like trying to explain to him, "Oh, bro, I do like this kind of deadlift and it compresses your thumbs on your thumbprint." And yeah, he had no idea what I was talking about, but like, I swear it's a thing. It happens. Onto this set, pretty decent 3. I sort of made a point to emphasise at the end of the lockout. And yeah, I think I completed it with reasonable conviction there.
So how do you get yourself hyped up?
I just like flip the switch, really. Just really sort of concentrate on your lift, concentrate on recruiting all muscle fibers. Even though I'm like sort of thinking about the lift, I'm thinking, I use my quads initially, and then when I pull through, it's more legs and back. and I'm going through that motion, but I'm trying to recruit all muscle fibers possible. I'm getting angry, everything's tense, everything's strong. My feet are locked in the ground. I'm thinking about spreading the floor. I'm thinking about like a lot of things, a lot of technique cues, and they all just sort of come together on the lift. With this particular bar, I know I keep mentioning it, but just thinking about hoping my thumbs don't fall off. I've been to gyms and like guys do like 25 pound side raise, and they smell the salt and then they go again. It's like, man, I've never even had smelling salt. I get hyped up just fine.
What does smelling salt do?
Oh, it just puts you into like fight or flight mode. Probably my last set at 200. If I do another 3, that'll be a 3x3 plus a 2 to begin, and then I might bust out some conventional after this. So I'm going to tell you about a technique cue that I forgot to mention just then. First off, I'm just going to adjust these noises I've been making. I need to work on some friendlier noises, eh? Like, check this out. Gotta work on that. But anyway, at the bottom of the hole, one thing I do think about, right, is I brace my lower abs and my glutes so hard that I spread the floor and everything comes up. So that's the first thing that I think about when I'm down in the hole. Brace my abs so hard that everything else sort of pops up. But that bracing of the abs initiates the movement and gets everything else in motion. Just like that. That's what I'm thinking about. And then the volcanoes, the eruption. Ow. And onto some conventionals now. I've had a bit of a love-hate relationship with conventionals. I actually started conventional, and then I got a back injury years ago, converted me to sumo. I've always been able to recover a lot quicker from sumo. However, just for absolute strength of your upper back especially, and the whole body, I've converted to do a few conventionals, especially since I've been squatting narrower. I feel like a conventional deadlift is a very similar movement. So in regards to this, right, I'm doing exactly that same thing with my lower abs where I'm bracing and I'm pushing my feet hard into the ground and the back just sort of pops up. I'm trying to separate the bar, like sort of move my hands sideways as wide as possible. And I'm not really moving the bar. I'm just doing that to switch on all my back muscles so they all engage and I get maximum muscle recruitment. I do high reps usually on conventional because low reps, ridiculously heavy, they just bang up my back. I don't know whether my abs can hold up that much tension for an extended period of time, and I just put myself at too great a risk of injury. It's not worth it. So I sort of fell in love with conventional again by default through COVID, really. I couldn't enter any gyms. Obviously, with the lockdowns and stuff like that, we were locked down for a long time in Melbourne, and I only had a 5-foot bar and bumper plates. Anyone that's tried to sumo with a 5-foot bar probably has broken feet or toes, and I didn't want that. So I just started conventionaling. I had about 140 kg worth of weights, and I was just doing like high rep stuff, and I stayed pretty fit during COVID doing conventional. I know I'm in the home gym, but if I'm doing conventional at the gym, I love hitting leg presses after because I pretty much have the same stance using the same muscle group, but the lower back might be shot at the end of, some heavy sets of conventional. So I just get a mad pump on the leg press, pump up the quads, stretch right down, brace the abs. I reckon it's a really good exercise to complement your conventional. And yeah, leg press is like my go-to after conventionals. Some other moves I might use on deadlift day. Stiff legs, obviously. Bent over rows. I find doing all these in the one day, mind you, sumo, conventional, bent over row, look, it's just too much. When I was a little bit bigger, when I was like 110 kg, it sort of worked. I'm sitting now under 90. I don't have the energy for that, even if it's a high calorie day. It's just too much volume. Quite often I train on what feels good. I don't really follow programs at the moment. However, generally, if I do both sumo and conventional, I might only do one more accessory movement, such as like chin-ups or even stiff leg deadlifts. But usually after that, I'm pretty shot. If I'm at the gym, I might do some biceps or something like that. Otherwise, I'll just rest. My deadlift routine recently has been a heavyish, or a couple of heavyish sumo sets. I was doing like 5x5 on conventional after that, but it would sort of beat up the body and I wouldn't be able to squat for like maybe 5 or 6 days. I'm just too long in between workouts. I find 3 sets of 5 I can recover from within a sort of 3 or 4 day period, and I can get squatting or deadlifting again. After this, if I'm at the gym, I might do some upper back work, hamstring work on some machines. Today, because I am in the garage gym, I might do some stiff legs. If I had time, I'd do some bent over rows. I probably won't today though. After sumos, I also like to train quads. So in the gym, I'll be doing heavy leg extensions. If I'm here, I might even do some Zerka harness front squats or something like that. The Zerka harness doesn't beat up the elbows like a regular front squat. And coming up on my last set, concluding the workout, I'd give this an 8 on the RPE scale. RPE is rate of perceived exertion, and it's just a little scale used by most lifters to determine how hard their workout was out of 10. I probably used 8 of my energy bars and still had 2 in the tank. I probably wouldn't squat the day after this, right? But I'd wait like until maybe 3 or 4 days after, and then I'm pretty ready to go heavy squats again. So the last set's where a lot of injuries happen. Please ensure that you brace your core throughout the whole movement. If you plan to do a set of 5 but you have to drop it to 4, there's no shame in that. You can keep training the next week, the next month. Whereas if you keep going and hurt yourself, you're out. You'll lose all your progress, lose all your gains. And that just about wraps it up. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you got something out of the video. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, as that helps the channel and motivates me to create more content. It's coming up on winter bulking season, and yeah, I hope to get massive.